Hey, what's up, guys? How y'all doing today? Well, baby, if you are Sean Diddy Combs, baby, what do you call it? The Rolling Stones has just destroyed you. They have ended you. Y'all, the Rolling Stones, if you guys don't know, wrote a bombshell piece. It was one of the best. Listen, don't sleep on the Rolling Stones. They be investigating, right? They wrote a bombshell piece about Sean Diddy Combs. It is long, but I came to actually unpack it with you, do a deep dive, add what I know, and give you the dramatic interpretation. Listen, lock in. If it's wash day, if your job is fussing at you, if your man, woman, whoever you're dating is fussing at you, baby, just ignore them. Give the kids some Oreos. They'll be fine. We all ate Oreos, and look how even we turned out. Wait, stop. Diddy might have ate Oreos too. Let's find out what Diddy ate so we could be like, nobody in the world eat that. Y'all, let's get into this. I do have to say in this article, what are the top 10 takeaways? Before we even deep dive, let me tell you what the top 10 takeaways are. First of all, they are implying that Diddy had something heavy to do with Biggie's death. They are implying Shaquille Stewart, Kim Porter, Misa Hilton Brim, basically all the dirt that's been on social media that TMZ and all these places are trying to be like, oh my God, that's just gossip. Rolling Stone said, baby, everybody can't be lying. And they jumped into the lion's den and did some hardcore investigative work and bought us receipts. I know you probably got the short version on the blogs, but the blogs did not do this article justice. And baby, we are getting into the whole article, not just a news clip. Y'all, this is literally on some art of, y'all know the channel, The Art of Dialogue. This is on a different level. The key takeaways. The interns, Diddy beating a woman mercilessly at Howard in the Bad Boy Officers. You know, all these podcasters, y'all know I'm going to say Dr. Umar, right? That's like literally making excuses for Diddy. Diddy has been a menace. Diddy has been a menace for as long as we know. And apparently, all these systems that profited from him, from Howard University down to everything, the music people, everybody benefited from him, and everybody just let this man run amok. Some of this stuff will shock you. His violence goes back to college days. Kirk Burrows says he saw Diddy attack a woman inside the office. Baby, this is bad. It is sad, but we are going to have to confront this and actually get into it because, yeah, no. I will say one thing, right? I think from this article, we can tell that Clive Davis does not give a DA what to Diddy. I guess he got a new man, boy toy, whatever you want to call it. All right. Anyway, let's get into this. Where should we actually start? I guess we can start from the beginning. Also, I want to tell everybody that when I did my last live and I said Belize, the island of Belize, or Belize is an island. And I want to thank everybody that rode the Magic School Bus, people that were Bill Knight's Science Guy, National Discovery, Our Planet Earth, that out of everything I said about what this monster did, y'all wanted to point out that Belize is not an island. To which I will say, shut. You know what? We're family. I'm not going to tell you to shut your dumb ass because we don't say that to our family. But are you serious? First of all, nobody cares. I don't care. Second of all, Belize is not an island, but Belize has islands. They're called the Key Islands, the Silk Key, the this key, the that key. They are where the rich and fabulous vacation, land their private planes, have a good old time. And they're where you can have some Epstein Island fun, or where you can move keys and wait, or where you can drop off Ciroc bottles filled with Coca-Cola, like Jonathan Oddie said, out of the view of private eyes. Yes. Thank you. Thank you, National Geographic people. I appreciate you. Everything I said was invalidated because I said Belize is an island. Belize has islands, but because I love you guys and we're a family, I'm not going to tell you to shut your dumb asses up because somehow that was central to the station. Yes, I am that annoying big sister that will literally go in. Okay, let's get into this. All right. Belize is an island. Ulysses in the island. Okay, thank you. How did that change anything I said? How? I want to know. How? Y'all was in the comments deep. And I know you were not y'all, but I know you guys were doing it out of love. But love me a little less, please. A little easy on the love. Okay, anyway, let's get into this, right? Um, yeah. Where are we? Okay. So let's get into this article. It's really deep. And it basically shows the making of a monster. Okay. It shows the making of listen, it shows the making of a monster. So they say, bad boy for life, Sean Combs' history of violence. Now, I told you guys a couple of weeks ago, and I think actually some of y'all Tattletales actually told me, and I was like, okay, good point. The When you start seeing people and legitimate news agencies. And listen, I'm not saying one agency is better than the other. I'm not saying a blog is better than CNN because CNN be trying it sometimes. I am saying that when you see agencies that like they try to be highbrow or play highbrow. When you see them start doing deep dives and investigative pieces, because they have to put the employees on that for months. It's a lot of time, a lot of resources. What's more, they always do that whenever they're trying to bring their reading public up to speed with who they are going to be covering for the next 8 months, because everybody is saying that, listen, everybody is saying that the Diddy trial is going to, in fact, be the trial of the century. It's going to be the trial of the century. Okay. So Rolling Stones is bringing everybody up to play, and they actually investigated a lot of stuff that people are accusing Diddy of. They said, bad boy for life, Sean Combs' history of violence. For decades, Sean Diddy Combs was hip hop's boisterous showman. Now, dozens of former friends, employees, and bad boy artists allege an abusive, menacing figure behind the facade. This was an incredible piece of investigative work by Cheyenne. It's either Cheney Roundtree or Cheyenne Roundtree and Nancy Dillon. So Roundtree and Dillon wrote this for the Rolling Stone. It is an incredible thing. I know some people get annoyed when people put in the work to investigate and then they want their flowers, but you have to give somebody their flowers if they put in a lot of work to actually bring you guys the truth. I don't think you guys realize this stuff with Roundtree and Dillon and this and any investigation. It doesn't just fall in your lap. Yeah, people might come and bring you clues, but it's like wading through like a murky pond. Let's just say 100 people contact you. 80% of them might just be talking ish, right? 20% might be telling the truth. But out of that truth, right? 90% of that 20% might actually have a grudge to bear. It might be one-sided. It might be biased. You know how it's like, everybody has their opinion, but you have to talk to a bunch of people to get the truth. It takes a lot from somebody that investigates. Okay. And y'all know I'm nosy. You call it nosy. And for all those nosy Nancy Drew tattletales, we are family. It takes a lot to sort through information. All that might look good, all that might look bad, all that might look inconsequential, but to actually take your time and really research and find out what is what so you can bring it to people that actually care, that is time, energy, and resources. I don't know why people just think it doesn't just happen. It's not like somebody reads a blog and then comes back. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Dillon and Roundtree for actually doing the damn thing and doing something I think has been missing from journalism for a while, not just reporting shit, not just repeating shit, but actually scratching below the surface, talking to the people that were a part of these stories. Counter, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Evelyn. Okay, anyway, they said as he took the stage at the BET, they also let you know that where Cassie decided to actually go after Diddy, and that's when he was so arrogant that he looked at. Okay, I'll tell you. Okay. As he took the stage at the BET Awards in June 2022, to think that one moment of arrogance in June 2022 costed you your whole fortune, your reputation, your kids' college funds. I don't even know if the kids are going to college. Cost you every MF thing. Okay. To receive a Lifetime Achievement Award Also, how did BET give him a Lifetime Achievement Award where everybody in the industry seemed to know he was a monster? Who voted for him to get a Lifetime Achievement Award? These are the questions we should be asking. Sean Diddy Combs was elated. Yeah, 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 yeah. He bellowed, punctuating his words with triumphant jumps. The adoring crowd, who gave him a sustained standing ovation, included his mother and children, longtime friends, music industry peers like Kanye West, Janelle Monáe, Babyface, Lil Wayne. Let's also not forget Young Miami up in the nosebleed seats holding up a picture that said, "Go Poppy." Again, I've changed my mind back. I flip flop. I think Young Miami is a victim. And I think the fact that she was holding up a cardboard 3D arts and craft cardboard saying "Go Poppy," not even allowed to sit by the family in the nosebleed seats. I think that Diddy was making her go through a humiliation ritual. And I think that Diddy actually, Young Miami probably got the same treatment as Cassie as everybody else and Gina Hun. The only thing is Young Miami's so proud she probably won't admit it, but everything will come out. Side note, did y'all notice that Young Miami liked one of Diddy's tweets? Not Diddy's tweets, but the tweet saying that Diddy's about to be indicted. Methinks Young Miami might be testifying. You know she's back with her baby's dad, Southside. They actually make a cute couple. Anyway, the adoring crowd who gave him a sustained standing ovation. We already went through that. After 3 decades of relentless hustling that took him from hungry teenage intern to A&R executive producer, label impresario, respected fashion designer, and household respected fashion designer. Thinks they're pouring it on. The maker, Sean John, I mean, at one time, but that was like what, in 1990 something? But you know what? Let's continue. They're pouring it on thick because they want to show their fall from grace. But respected fashion designer, moving on, and household brand name, Diddy had seemingly reached the apotheosis of his career. He closed his eyes and he repeatedly thanked God. He got down on one knee and he praised his mother. He name-checked a laundry list of people who mentored and inspired him. Anything I do is through love, Diddy proclaimed early in a 9-minute speech. That's what I evolved to be, and that's what I'm doing right now. But soon, Combs struck a somber tone. I was in a dark place for a few years. You know how when he gets somber, he starts like rocking back and forth. I was in a dark place for a few years. I got to give a special thank you to the people that were really there for me. He listed friends and advisors. He listed T.G. Jakes. He listed Lori Ann Gibson for keeping him free. What the hell did that mean? All right. Then, looking directly into the camera, he added, Cassie for holding me down in the dark times. Love, right? I remember that. He raised one hand to make an L sign. Loser. And he held his gaze steady, silently for several seconds. I remember that. That was weird. Love. He was like, love. And was looking at the camera. And even the audience was like, okay, did we clap down? Diddy and Cassandra Cassie Ventura, a former singer for his iconic Bad Boy record label, had split 4 years earlier, but he had been openly pining for her ever since. He posted photos online, urged her to listen to Michael Jackson's The Lady in My Life. He publicly congratulated her on her first pregnancy with her husband. His comments at the awards show were part of a pattern of behavior, one that had been tormenting Cassie for years. When she learned of her ex's latest remark, sources say Cassie wasn't distressed. She was distressed, but she was also resolute. Almost 18 months later, in November 2023, Ventura sued Diddy, took his soul, took his money, took his everything. And after she got that money, she's cooperating with the feds. Cassie, I know that's right. Cassie said, you want to have me in a freak off from 19 to 30, baby. We about to have a freak off with your money, time, with your mind. You want to see a freak off? Baby, you taught me well. We having a freak off with everything you know and love now, Diddy. Now, Cassie claimed he had held her in a violent form of sexual servitude throughout the relationship and raped her upon their final breakup in 2018. Oh my God. She invoked Diddy's BET speech in her filing. For Miss Ventura, the dark times were those she spent trapped by Diddy in a cycle of abuse, violence, and blank trafficking. She said Diddy's brutal beatings, one of them captured in a harrowing hotel surveillance video obtained by CNN in May, left her with bruises, burst lips, black eyes, and extensive trauma. Now, listen, we about to get to this article. We have to go through the back because, baby, the way they slice and dice Diddy and throw in stuff that I'm probably sure you don't know, we got to do it. But also, yeah, the bruises from after from after what happened in the hallway, that was actually we Daily Mail dug them up. They're on my channel, but I think you can just Google it because everybody was talking about just how sad it was. The Grammy winning songwriter Tiffany Red, by the way, we did an interview with her. It was Chef's Kiss. Go ahead and check it out. A friend of Cassie's who worked closely with the singer during the height of the alleged abuse. She actually detailed that in the live. Go check it out. Did I tell you should go check out the live? Diddy's words from the BET stage have been a taunt. It's like harassment, she explained. You're still effing with her. Leave her alone. Leave her the F alone. And the 5 years after the breakup with Diddy, Cassie had remained silent. While he was posting about her pregnancy in 2019, she was negotiating in distress behind the scenes to escape her bad boy contract. Now, despite Cassie signing a 10-album deal in 2006, Bad Boy only released one studio album by her. Diddy was allegedly trying to tie her separation agreement to a non-disparagement clause. It's not like we were negotiating with just her record label. We were negotiating with her abuser. Through her lawyer, Cassie declined to speak for this article. Diddy did not respond to requests to comment on this allegation. At some point, Cassie checked herself into a rehabilitation center to deal with the physical and psychological repercussions of her time with Diddy and found renewed purpose in being a mom and all that stuff. When she eventually gathered her strength and stepped forward, a flurry of other lawsuits followed. 5 more women have since accused Diddy of rape and violent blanket assault, dating as far back as 1990. 2 of whom claim that Diddy secretly recorded their encounters and showed the footage to others without their consent. Music producer Little Rod also sued, alleging that Diddy groped him in his private parts and forced him to solicit blank workers and perform blank acts to pleasure Diddy. Now, while Diddy would eventually take responsibility for the assault captured on the surveillance video, he has vehemently denied all other allegations against him. The day Cassie filed her complaint, he blasted it again. Remember these words, what they're saying about Little Rod and all this stuff and Little Rod's attorney? Don't forget the day, they make a good point of pointing this out. The day Cassie filed her complaint, Diddy blasted it as a shakedown based on outrageous lies. They said for the past 6 months, Diddy has been subjected to Cassie's persistent demand for $30 million under the threat of writing a damaging book about the relationship, which is unequivocally rejected as blatant blackmail, his lawyer, Ben Brofman, said. In response, Douglas Wigdor said Cassie offered 8 figures to Diddy offered Cassie 8 figures to silence her and prevent the filing of this lawsuit. The parties came to an undisclosed settlement within 24 hours of the filing. I know Diddy wish he had just sold a house and given Cassie that money. He could have gone and hit up Clive Davis's house. He could have hit up Rob Burkle's house. He could have been walking funny a few days after that, but baby, he would have got that $30 million they said Cassie was demanding. I see that all of Diddy's lawyers say everybody accusing Diddy of everything is just a shameless, whatever. When his 4th accuser sued in December, he issued another passionate denial. Y'all remember this. Enough is enough. For the past couple of weeks, I have sat silently and watched people try to assassinate my character, destroy my reputation and my legacy. Sickening allegations have been made against me by individuals looking for a quick payday. Let me be absolutely clear. I did not do any of the awful things being alleged. I will fight for my name, my family, and for the truth. For many, the lurid allegations against Diddy were jarring, in part because he had risen to such great heights as a bankable bon vivant who threw the best parties in New York City to the Hamptons to Hollywood. He's the pop culture stalwart okay, they being wordy here, who walked under a parasol held by his campy valet, Farnsworth Bentley and St. Tropez, and turned up at the Met Gala in a Swarovski crystal encrusted tuxedo and floor-length cape. Diddy, what? Is Farnsworth Bentley going to be called by the feds? Because I'm sure they investigated him. Now, that would be the real gag. That would be the real gag. He rapped about Bentleys and Benjamins and held court at his over-the-top annual white parties, attended by Leonardo DiCaprio, Beyonce, Mariah Carey, and Martha Stewart. He called himself the Great Gatsby and considered circus showman P.T. Barnum his muse. Diddy, now the spotlight Diddy constantly chased, is trained on his alleged crimes. In staggering scenes that underscored his fall from grace, heavily armed Homeland Security agents stormed his sprawling Los Angeles and Miami estates as part of a federal blank trafficking investigation on March 25th. Investigators tore through his offices and bedrooms, leaving cables dangling from the command center and multiple safes wide open. 3 gleaming Grammys and an Oscar sat atop a gutted console like relics of a crumbling regime. A crestfallen Diddy was later seen alone, a cell phone hanging useless in his hand as he slowly paced the Miami Opa-locka airport. I saw that scene. Diddy was crying for his life. Now, side note, do you know why he was crying? Because they had taken all his family and everybody that was supposed to get on the plane, and they brought them into the private airport hangar where the offices are, and separated everybody, and they were questioning everybody in detail. They actually had them detained. Sorry, guys. Long week. They actually had him detained for a long while, but the only person they didn't detain was Diddy. He was outside marching and crying and breaking down because he knew they were looking for something. Now, anyway, let's get back to this. A crestfallen Combs was later seen alone. His vacation in the Bahamas was canceled. His once fortified homes breached. His adult sons handcuffed, and his empire on the brink. Now, while the raids made global headlines, the silence from Diddy's famous friends was palpable. This felt different than before. When he could use a checkbook, a high-powered attorney, and a media blitz to overcome scrapes with the law, when his charisma, his influence, his connections, right, would allow him to shake off allegations of violence or outcry from his disenfranchised artists. Reparations is getting closer and closer. Former bad boy artist may say the day after the raise, the big payback is here. Over the past 6 months, Rolling Stones conducted dozens of interviews with Combs' former friends, acquaintances, employees, and as well as bad boy artists and industry insiders. Out of about 300 people contacted for this, more than 300 people contacted for this investigation, more than 50 were willing to speak out about their experiences. Sorry. Several would do so only off the record, still citing fear of retribution. Some did request compensation in exchange for their stories, but Rolling Stones doesn't pay for interviews. Many declined to participate, wanting to distance themselves from Diddy. One person even said, "I'm trying to leave that part of my life behind me." Those who did speak about Diddy describe a complicated man with opposing personas. Outwardly, they see a tastemaker who was unapologetically driven, generous, jovial, even silly at times. He can be the same privately, but associates who got close enough to them discovered something darker behind the facade. The menacing figure who desperately wants to be accepted and admired, who uses public declarations of devotion, splotchy donations, and boasts that he is brother love to hide an undercurrent of alleged abuse and violence. That, in one previously unreported allegation, traces back to before his career even started. Diddy wielded his growing power to bend people to his will, sending staffers to win back one-time girlfriend Jennifer Lopez through stalking, beating a label executive bloody, This is Shakir Stevens, after he became romantically involved with Kim Porter and allegedly trying to solicit blank from a woman on his payroll. As part of this investigation, Rolling Stone sent Diddy a detailed list of questions about the new and pending allegations. He did not specifically address any of them. They said, Diddy's lawyer said, Mr. Combs cannot comment on settled litigation, will not comment on pending litigation, and cannot address every allegation picked up by the press for any source, no matter how unreliable. We are aware that the proper authorities are conducting a thorough investigation and therefore have confidence in any important issues will be addressed in proper forum, where the rules distinguish facts from fiction. Now, Joy Dickerson Neal, who's suing Diddy for blanket assault, told Rolling Stone that her decision to come forward, it isn't about money. It's about making sure that the world sees that this man who rose to the level of an icon is actually sick and has left so many victims in the wake of his unpunished, disgusting behavior for years. Now, for Cassie, Diddy presented her a flashy, established 30, presented to her as a flashy, established 37-year-old label boss when he pulled her into a bathroom and forcibly kissed her on her 21st birthday in 2007, leaving her in tears, according to her complaint. I can't help believe she was in tears because of that breath. He is a mouth breather. It's dry mouth. You know the rules. I don't make them. God does. She says that Diddy was holding the keys to her music career when he pressured her to consume rugs and have blank that same year. Diddy quickly became deeply entrenched in every aspect of her life, paying for her apartment, having her medical records sent directly to him, and lashing out for perceived slights. When Cassie tried to move on and had a brief romantic relationship with musician Kid Cudi in 2011, he allegedly beat her to a pulp. He also allegedly beat his assistant Capricorn Clark to a pulp too. I did a video about it. Just Google Capricorn. We'll put in Capricorn Clark in the search bar, and you'll find in my station, and you'll find it. Diddy is a menace. Anyway, right? Combs later told Cassie he planned to blow up Kid Cudi's car in the driveway. In a statement to the New York Times in November, Kid Cudi confirmed that his car exploded, saying this is all true. Now, I know what you're thinking. Tisa, we already know this. They're giving you the slow burn, baby. It gets good. In her lawsuit, Cassie said she learned to blindly submit to Diddy to avoid vicious beatings. Eventually, her lawsuit claims abuse extended to blank trafficking, with Diddy ordering her to slather herself in oil, get high and drunk, and have intercourse with male blank workers, while Diddy pleasured himself and filmed the interactions, which he dubbed freak-offs. She learned to disassociate during these horrific encounters. The public got a disturbing window into Diddy's treatment of Cassie in the surveillance video unearthed by CNN. In it, you'll remember, there was a towel-clad Diddy seen pursuing a barefoot and fleeing Cassie after he allegedly punched her in the face during a freak-off in the Los Angeles hotel in 2016. At the elevator bank, Diddy threw Cassie to the floor, kicked her, stomped her, and attempted to drag her back to the room before grabbing what appears to be a vase off a table and hurling it in her direction. Cassie described the incident in her lawsuit and alleged that Diddy paid $50K to obtain that footage. Y'all remember that? Okay, so where are we at? Okay, so Cassie said, after years of silence and darkness, I'm finally ready to tell my story and to speak up on behalf of myself and for the benefit of other women who face violence and abuse in their relationships. This is an opportunity to speak up about the trauma I have experienced and that I will be recovering from for the rest of my life. Now, as Ventura's damning allegations were on the verge of going public, Combs was strategizing, according to Rodney Jones, who had produced multiple songs for his Love album. Said he detailed how he planned to leverage his relationship with celebrity pastor T.D. Jakes. Right? Well, let me do Rodney's voice. Listen, he was detailing how he planned to leverage his relationship with celebrity pastor T.D. Jakes to soften the impact to his public image. Now, publicly, Diddy was seemingly jumping into overdrive, producing positive press. He fulfilled his 1 million promise to his alma mater, Howard University. We know why that is now. They're going to tell you in the article. And the football program at another historically Black college. He launched Empower Global, an e-commerce platform for Black entrepreneurs. And dropping his new album, proclaimed he was sure in this love era. And he announced that he was giving bad boy artists and songwriters their publishing rights back. Only some artists say that they were offered rights back. And Danity Kane's Aubrey O'Day said she refused because her offer came with a mandatory non-disclosure agreement. Now, a year before her breakup with Diddy, Cassie conceptualized a short film titled Cassie that appears telling in the hindsight. And the voiceover speaking about the film's fictionalized romance, she says, "How do you just walk away from it and escape it? I just want to be free." Chapter 1 of Diddy, the Monster. Really quick. Now we getting into the dirt, but let me just read these comments real quick. Janelle Tabora, thank you so much for becoming a member. Takia, thank you so much for becoming a member. LF, thank you so much for the super chat. We also have Coco 162 2010. Thank you for becoming a member. Miss Hill, thank you for the super chat. Brittany Schaefer, thank you so much for the super chat. The creative lady said, yes, flowers for Tisa. That's right, the creative lady. Hibiscus Rose, thank you so much for the super sticker. Masterful Makers, thank you so much for becoming a member. Raquel Matthews, thank you so much for the super chat. Mama, be grateful. Said, please just hit the thumbs up. Tisa been on her job. Appreciate you, sis. Thank you so much. Be grateful. Tamara Whitehurst said, or White Earth said, I've been here for over 2 years and I've known how awesome you are. Tisa, I'm so proud of you and your knowledge. Thank you, Tamara. You have been rocking with me for 24 months. I appreciate you so much. You guys, I promise you guys, when I get to 500K, I'm going to do a big celebration, actually give back to the Tattletales too, because you guys have enriched my life and given me so much. Antoine the Great, thank you for being a member, said, girl, you've earned the right to yawn. A one-woman army doing wall-to-wall coverage on all the tea. It's easily the most worthwhile membership on YouTube. Love you, Tisa. Thank you, Antoine. I appreciate that. Pisces Psyche said, thank you for becoming a YouTube member. Pisces be knowing. Miss Chris, thank you so much for the super chat. You said reparations. Yes, and we're going to be here for all of it. That's right. Also, we got Vern. Thank you so much for being a member for 2 months. And we got Vern. Thank you so much for gifting a membership. It's much appreciated. Okay, let's get back into this. I'll jump back into the super chats in a minute. Puff is out here acting crazy. He's beating her. The hotel security footage prompted horrified reactions from around the world. Forced to acknowledge his actions, Diddy made a rare admission of guilt, but tailored it to that incident. I was effed up. I hit rock bottom, and I make no excuses. I take full responsibility for my actions in that video. I'm disgusted. He claimed he went to therapy and rehab and was truly sorry. Cassie's lawyer said Diddy's apology showed his pathetic desperation. Many who watched the footage of the assault were stunned, even those who'd known Combs for years. LaJoyce Brookshire, a former publicity director for Arista and Bad Boy, said she's disturbed to learn that these type of actions could have occurred, and that Puffy could stand in my face the next day with a straight face. That shakes me to my core. Several women who attended Howard with Diddy, however, had seen the signs of his controlling and abusive personality decades ago. Diddy started at the esteemed college in the fall of 1987 and quickly earned a reputation for throwing legendary rowdy parties. Flamboyant and boisterous, he was often seen driving his convertible around campus, passing out flyers. Though he left his sophomore year, Diddy turned Howard into a pipeline for his enterprises, teaming up with future label execs and producers Harvey Pierre, Mark Pitts, Derek D. Angeletti, all key figures in Bad Boy's early success. Might I say that the use of, this is just an aside, The use of the word pipeline for his enterprises, a lot of people said, including the feds, think that Diddy operates a blank trafficking, a human trafficking, a narcotic trafficking. If they use Howard as a pipeline for the enterprises, why did he just all of a sudden, when he was basically paying people to shut up, literally, um why did he just suddenly pay and settle that $1 million debt? Anyway, let's get into it. Shantae Page, a former A&R executive for Universal Motown Record Group, was among those who say they had a positive experiences with Diddy at Howard, calling his iconic parties a once-in-a-lifetime type of vibe. He was a go-getter from the start, always in the know. But other women described previously unreported incidents involving unwanted touching and fits of rage. One woman said she kept as far away as possible from Diddy. He caressed her backside without warning and asked if she would be willing to meet with one of his friends. Another former student recalled that Diddy flew off the handle after she objected to him cutting in line in the cafeteria. While the moments may seem small, they showed flashes of danger that would soon explode. A third former student recalls how the future mogul would tap on the window in the English class to get a girlfriend to ditch. The visits became noticeably unwelcome. The classmates say she would tense up whenever Diddy appeared. This person sat next to the woman, the girlfriend in class. He just had a weird control thing. I felt like she was fearful. The classmate who said they wanted to remain anonymous because she was worried about what Diddy was going to do to her says her concerns were validated when Diddy appeared outside the school's Harriet Tubman quadrangle dorm and started screaming in a belligerent manner for his girlfriend to come outside. Remember when Tiffany Red in the live we did kept saying he showed up screaming like a lunatic, talking about some emotional thing, but screaming bloody murder. They said that he showed up outside too. The classmates say that other women soon began running through the halls, knocking on doors in panic. They were sounding an alarm that Diddy, known by his nickname Puff, was attacking his girlfriend outside. Puff was out there acting crazy. He was beating her. He screamed and hollered. He acted a stone fool until she came downstairs. Oh my God. She says he pulled out what looked like was a belt and started beating the woman all over the place with a belt. Everybody that witnessed this, and a lot of people witnesses, said you have to keep me anonymous. One witness said that he appeared super angry and was screaming at the top of his lungs. He whooped her butt, like really whooped her butt. She was trying to defend herself a little bit. She was crying, and we were telling him, get off of her. We were screaming for her, get off of her. 3 sources actually detailed this. You know what? This is an aside that makes me so disgusted about this. When I first read this, I was in tears because when you think about the visual, not only are you a violent abuser, whipping somebody, like this is like out of a slave trilogy, in front of the Harriet Tubman quadrangle, no less, the dorms. It's also like really scary that, it's really scary that in my mind, it wasn't enough that you were beating this woman mercilessly. You didn't even want her to have the dignity of you beating her in silence. She got on your bad side. You walked in front of that dorm like you were the head bitch in charge, right? Screaming, waking up the whole dorm until she brought herself to you because you were in Howard. That was your school, and you were going to make an example out of her. And then you sat there while her friends, her enemies, strangers, acquaintances, haters, doesn't matter who it was, sat there and witnessed you violently beat her, humiliate her, break her. She literally, they said she tried to fight back, but like Cassie said, by that time you're so broken. You did it as a lesson. You did it as a peeing contest to measure your D. Also, I've heard it's very small. That doesn't matter. But I mean, like, not like, oh, you're just no. I mean, like adolescent size. Like, there's something wrong with them. That might be it. You did it to teach everyone a lesson, to make an example of her for your own ego. You treated somebody as a party favor, not even human, just something that you could use. When I thought about that, it disgusted me so bad. And I also thought about it, right? This is why this is why I think Diddy paid off the school, because my thing I also thought was, how come the RAs want to be on your ass when you come in like a minute after 12 a.m., right? Whatever the curfew is, 10 or 11 on the weekdays, what, midnight? They want to be on your ass. They want to do this in everybody's business. Where was the RA for each floor? Where was the RA for each floor? Why didn't they report it? Where was the school security? Why didn't they report it? A student got mercilessly beat and women were traumatized, screaming out the window, leave her alone, get off of her. And nothing happened to this man. Anyway, now they let me get into these super chats and then I'm gonna get back into the story. Joe Button, thank you so much for becoming a member. Willie Fisher, thank you for becoming a member. Also, Barbara Richardson said, "Girl, you stay on it." Thank y'all so much, and thank you for the super chat. Mel Bethel, what's up? Mel said, "TT itty ditty bitty was at Howard University parties." Doing the kid and play 1 minute, and a few years later, he was on the yard bringing Heavy D, Biggie, and all sorts of folks. Okay, hold on. We got to get the rest of this. Thank you so much, Antoine, for becoming. Oh my God. Thank you for gifting a membership. Thank you. And Antoine, thank you for gifting 2 memberships. Y'all say thank you, please, to Antoine and Vern for gifting these memberships. Mel Bethel said, thank you again for another super chat. Said, Diddy had been trying to pull the ladies from LA, Miami, Chicago, but he was corny AF. I think he came back to flex because no one was paying him any mind the 2 years he was in school. Girl, Mel, email me because I want to hear some more of this tea. I like this. I like backstory. Y'all know. Nazarene Dara said, "Thank you for your solid coverage on this. I've been watching, but this is the time to subscribe. Finally, thank you so much, Nazarene. I appreciate that. What's up, mixed chick Samantha? Said, did you see Cuba say he's only been around a few times? The image of him on Little Rock was taken out of context. Then said, I hope Diddy would be smart enough to hide all that stuff. Cuba confirmed it. What? He's F him up. What? I'm going to do my stuff. Thank you so much, Samantha, for the generous super chat. Ren Weasley said, you just know it bruised Diddy's ego that Cassie found happiness with a man he hired. Alex's mom was also a victim of DV. He hates women beaters. And I love that for her. I love that. But you know what? As much as Alex loved her, his love didn't save her. Cassie actually had to go into rehab. Diddy left her broken, on drugs, low self-esteem, feeling worthless. On top of that, he made examples out of beating her, just like he did with everyone else. So good for her for finding love. But again, therapy, rehab, all that stuff, she found a thing to love herself. But yeah, I know it bruised Diddy's ego. And I think that's why he kept messing with Cassie. Who would have thought, though, from August 22nd in 18 months, Cassie took away everything you ever wanted, everything you owned, everything you only loved, and everything you cared about. I know that's right. Lisa, you said Jay Pinsk owns Rolling Stone magazine. He's also on a Clive Davis's Grammy party guest list. This is why the article stops with Diddy. Thank you, you guys. So Lisa actually put us down. They said Jay Pinsky owns Rolling Stone magazine. However, he is a frequent guest at Clive Davis's Grammy party, which means, yeah, they exposed Diddy, but then they stopped. Mel Bethel went on to say, thank you so much for blessing me, Mel said, Diddy had been trying to pull the ladies in LA, Miami, and Chicago. Oh, because no, didn't you already post that? I think so. Okay, but let's reread it. As in, thank you. As if he had been trying to pull ladies in LA, Miami, Chicago, but he was corny AF. I think he came back to flex because no one at Howard was paying him any mind the 2 years he was in school. I got to hear more of this, Mel. I got to hear more of this. Quantrice Brooks, thank you so much for becoming a member. Okay, let's get back into this. Now, Diddy was born with a short fuse, telling Jet magazine he'd earned his nickname as a kid because he would always huff and puff when he got mad. I had a temper. Ah, that's why my friends started calling me Puffy. Okay, his mom, a former kindergarten teacher, described him as a ham. Diddy barely knew his father, Melvin, a handsome drug dealer working for a Harlem kingpin. He was deleted in 1972 at the age of 33, when Diddy was just a toddler. Throughout the years, Diddy mourned the loss of his father figure, but Melvin had a profound influence on him nonetheless. Even if we don't know our parents, we still have their DNA in us. We have their genes. I have his hustler's mentality, his hustler spirit, his drive, his determination, his swag. Baby, do you got that criminal mind? Let me tell y'all something. And this is something I will discuss in a different video, but I need to touch on it now before I forget. What happened with Diddy and his mom? What happened between Diddy and his mom? What happened to Diddy? The level of anger he has toward women, the level of rage where he gets off on humiliating, beating them. He is a stone cold narcissist sociopath, in my opinion. But where did it start? He has a weird relationship with his mom. And I'm not implying it's any like Flowers in the Attic, VC Andrews, Jackie Collins. I am saying it's really weird. It's weird the way he made his mom paint her nails white. And he kept putting the camera on there, talking about, y'all, look, yeah, it's summertime, open for business, almost like a PIMP would talk to his bottom B while he's trying to advertise her. I find it odd that after that, he was like, yeah, my mom's single. She looking for somebody, focusing on the white fingernails. I guess he was trying to let Mama Cones find a billionaire fish, right? And he was like, because everybody that time, everybody in Diddy's circle knew what white fingernails represented. I find it odd that the mom was like, yeah, and she knows how to throw it back. Diddy said this about his mom on live. I put the video up. She knows how to throw it back, right? And his mom was like, when he was zooming in on the white fingernail, she was like, what are you doing? Why are you doing that? Mind you, they were both taking IVs in that live. Remember how Cassie said they would take IVs when they were doing the freak offs? And they were both taking IVs in that live. And right, and she had white fingernails, and then the mom was like, yeah, I can put both hands on the floor and take it, pow 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 pow. I thought that was weird, but okay. Anyway, when Janice moved the family from Harlem to the suburb of Mount Vernon, 12 miles north, Diddy straddled the spirit worlds. In one, he was the defensive back on the football team at his all-boys Catholic high school. In the other, he rode a train to the city, immersing himself in its burgeoning hip hop scene. I didn't know exactly what he would do, but he was blasting me out of the house with his mixing kit I bought him when he was 13 years old, making that noise, scratching those records. After a taste of celebrity at Howard, did he itch for more? He was hell-bent on breaking into the music industry, simultaneously attending college, working part-time internship at Uptown Records in New York. It was an Uptown artist, Heavy D, a neighbor in Mount Vernon, who brokered the job interview after Diddy reportedly badgered the rapper at their local pizza spot. Okay? Diddy commuted from Howard for the job, evading the train fare by hiding from the conductor in the bathroom. He dropped out of school to work at Uptown full-time, eventually becoming CEO Andre Harrell's mentee. This is what Kurt Woodley, the former Uptown A&R VP, said. Now, as an aside too, right? I don't understand. Diddy could have had this beautiful life if he just hadn't been into weird, demonic, rugging, blank trafficking, all this stuff. He could have literally been on top of his game and had a beautiful life. But then you have to think, right? The record industry seems so demonic. You got to think, could he have rose to those heights if he wasn't into demonic shit? You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? Anyway, Combs' into Uptown is now part of his lore. He helped newcomers Mary J. Blige and Jodeci go multi-platinum after reshaping their images. He reinvented the remix and ushered hip-hop soul into the cultural lexicon. He threw exclusive daddy house parties at the since-shuttered Manhattan hip-hop club Red Zone that even his older Uptown colleagues jockeyed to attend. Diddy had the ability to convince people that whatever he was doing or whatever he was at, that was a hot ish, said Dan Carnos. He understood more than anyone how the innovations of hip hop, specifically sampling and using classic rap records as a basis for R&B songs, would be really powerful for the generation. Now, Diddy's star was rising at Uptown. His predatory instincts resurfaced, according to a sexual assault lawsuit filed by Joy Dickerson Neal. Now, Joy acted opposite Diddy in the 1990 music video and received what she considered a warning from Bronx rapper Sister Soldier. Remember Sister Soldier? To keep her distance given his infamous reputation. Now, Joy says she reluctantly agreed to a dinner date with Diddy in January 1991 while she was a college student paying for her studies with a restaurant job. Now, she was a little wary of being alone with him, so she requested they dined where she worked. Now, here's the scary part. She says that Diddy spiked her drink when she used the restroom and later pressured her into taking a hit of the blunt. She says her legs went rubbery a short time later and that Diddy raped her at a nearby residence. She also says he filmed the attack and showed the video to others like a trophy. Now, Diddy's rep, for the record, has denied this. This 32-year-old story is made up and not credible. Mr. Combs never assaulted her. We've moved to dismiss portions of the lawsuit, calling the allegations false, offensive, and salacious. Now, Mike Nice Lewis, who worked with Joy at the short-lived PMD Records, tells Rolling Stones that she actually confided in him in that office about the alleged blanket assault in the early 1990s. Diddy and Bad Boy came up in the conversation, and he says that Joy's demeanor abruptly changed. He claims Joy told him that she said, I had a very bad blanket experience with Diddy, keeping her head down as she talked. I believe Joy. I just knew from what she was telling me that it still affected her, even 2 years later. Now, Joy also, Joy and Crystal McKinney said the amount, Joy's lawyer, who also represents Crystal McKinney, said the amount of irreparable harm to my client's mental health and professional lives cannot be overstated. Within hours of Joy filing her complaint, another woman sued Diddy for rape. Liza Gardner claims she was just 16 in 1990 when he and a friend met Diddy and the Uptown singer Aaron Hall. Ugh, Aaron Hall is a demon. Ugh. But I think there's something wrong with him. I think he has fixation. He's a weirdo. I don't know what he's on, but it broke his mind. And he's scary. If I saw him coming down the street, the way he'd be like, yeah, take it. Even when he be talking, yeah, you gonna take this. That's the way he'd be in interviews. Just literally, remember Gremlins when after midnight, if you didn't feed them or if you fed them, something happened to them and they turned into these little monsters. Oddly enough, the monsters were kind of cute too. But he just just on some, yo, Tiger, calm down. Calm down. Anyway, right? So anyway, she was just 16. Now, I've seen pictures of Liza Gardner at 16, right? My research. You know how now people joke that 16-year-olds look like they're 23. They don't. But, they know how to wear their hair pretty. They put makeup on. But even then, they still look like 16-year-olds, right? But, they do their hair nice. They do this and that. And then you got those 16-year-olds that look like they're 12. It look like they've been running the block on the 6, just running the block, right? Liza Gardner looked like the latter. She looked like a 16-year-old and an extra from Full House. She looked very, very young. Ain't no way them Uptown boys thought anything except for these are two dumb young girls and let's get it. But listen to what happened. She alleges the men were very flirtatious and handsy. They were feeding them drinks and inviting them to Aaron Hall's residence for the after party. She says Diddy offered her more alcohol at Aaron's home in New Jersey and forced her into blank despite her protest. While she was still shocked and traumatized, trying to get dressed, Aaron Hall barged into the room, pinned her down, and raped her too. She said that Diddy became so angry later that he showed up at where she was staying and began choking her till she almost passed out. She feared he all because he thought that she would tell his then girlfriend what him and Aaron Hall had done. Now, again, I need people to understand, and I know not y'all, we're talking about to the people in the back that just want an excuse. There is something wrong with these people, right? There is something wrong with these people. It's not about having willing people. It's the fact that you don't want willing. Even when like girls are like, oh, with stars in their eyes, you still have to get them so drunk that they basically, it's like necrophilia, like dead bodies lying there. That's what these people are into. It's weird. It's weird. It's weird. Also, Kenya Watts, thank you for pointing this out. You said also in the early 1990s, Sister Soldier was involved in coordinating on college campuses, organizing youth, and also in organizing youth in to protest injustices. She definitely would have had the opportunity to see his character. Thank you for that, Kenya. Thank you. I did not know that, right? Thank you. Let's get back into this, right? Diddy's legal team denied Gardner's allegations, calling them a money grab. But another woman who says she was with Gardner the night of the alleged attack corroborated many details of her lawsuit in a sworn affidavit filed in mid-May. The woman, who's the younger sister of the friend mentioned in Gardner's complaint, said she had a photo of herself with Liza Gardner and Aaron Hall from the evening in question. She recalled frantically looking around Hall's apartment for her sister and Gardner after they disappeared with Diddy and Aaron. The 15-year-old said she walked into a room and saw a man watching whatever Puffy was doing to Liza. The woman wrote that she awoke the next morning at a different location where an upset Liza said that Diddy had just shown up there and choked her. Aaron did not respond for a request for comment. Back in the Uptown office, Diddy's inflated ego, outsized opinions, and Machiavellian scheming were becoming a problem for his peers. He went from internally divisive to openly controversial in December 1991 when he and Heavy D helped organize a celebrity charity basketball game in City College in New York that left 9 people dead, aged 15 to 28, and dozens injured in a stampede. Diddy shirked responsibility, claiming he had tried to enlist help from the NYPD and that he had personally administered CPR to several people. I want to see Diddy administer. I wish somebody had took him to court and been like, go on, that's a CPR dummy. Administer it. Please. We want to see it. Administer CPR, sir. Anyway, right? But the incident report ordered by then Mayor David Dinkins faulted him for allowing inexperienced underlings to handle the event planning and found that reckless overpromotion had drawn too many people bought tickets to the event. Now, some people say, and I'm just going to say, because I like to bring out everything, right? Some people that believe in things outside of mainstream religion, they believe that whole City College event was nothing but energy harvesting, where it was a sacrifice. When you sacrifice in blood, and when you do a mass sacrifice in blood, you get all this abundance from whatever you worship as the Most High. But even outside of people actually dying, also the energy harvesting from people being in a confined space, scared, screaming, running through their lives. When you have that adrenalized blood, when that cortisol is running through your brains, through your brain and through your body and through your blood system, it's scientific proof that our pheromones, the things that they're like, oh, if somebody's attracted to you, they smell your pheromones and they love your scent. It's not just about love. It's not just about mating. You can also tell if somebody's being aggressive. You can also tell if someone is hysterical. The pheromones, when you smell, when your body emits that, because at the end of the day, we're humans, but we are mammals, animals to a certain extent, right? In the most basic scientific, the same way that a dog could smell when another dog is upset or worried or whatever, we might not consciously register, it smells like, like fear, this and that, or, oh, this is invigorating. But evolutionary wise, when you're in a room, the human body releases, Google it, I'm not making this up, all these pheromones into the air. Sometimes it's love, sometimes it's hate. That's how hate mobs form. And you can change the other person's mood just by standing too close to them. They can literally absorb your mood just from the pheromones that are being put out. That's how mobs get started, all this other stuff, mass hysteria. Okay. So there's science behind it. But there are people that believe in energy harvesting. And when you have a sacrifice that big, the energy that comes from it makes whatever you're praying to open up. And again, it is, ritualistic sacrifice. Like, this has been around since the beginning of time. Um, I don't know. Maybe some people still believe in it. And you know what? Maybe it works to a certain extent. I don't know. I'm not very going to try it, but like, it's evil, but you know what it is. Anyway, let me get to these comments and we're going to get back into this. Mrs. Independent 38, thank you for the super chat. Said, I think Diddy faced rejection. That's part of the reason why he treats women the way he does. Maybe I thought about that, but why do they need to be unconscious? You know? Nazarene, thank you so much for becoming a member. Barbara Neal said, what happened to Christina Coram? She was chief of staff and the godmother to baby Love. She disappeared after the raid. Oh, no. Christina's still with him. Christina is still by his side. She is still 10 toes down. We keep looking at Young Miami as his Just-Say Maxwell. He already got it, Just-Say Maxwell. It's called Christina Coram, if you can believe Little Rod's lawsuit. The creative lady, thank you so much, said Gene Dill said yesterday in his live that he knows the deal with Diddy's relationship with his mom. Let me get Gene Dill back on this channel. Shout out, you guys. Also, I did a lot of videos with Gene Dill. You guys know he has a book on Amazon. No matter what these videos are, his book, I've read it, is 10 times better. Go ahead and pick up the book. And also, he's writing a second book with everything else he knows. And make sure you show him some love and subscribe to his YouTube channel. What am I saying? Y'all probably already subscribed. But if you're not, please go check him out. He goes live. He tells a lot of stuff. It's really, really good to know. Antoine said, Tisa, thank you for super chat again. Said, I have an inside scoop on the IVs. My coworker confirmed the IVs in February. She's seen them with her own eyes. Antoine, email me whatever information you have. I would love to have a conversation about this and learn more. Blue Exodia said, wow, you're almost 6K live viewers. Good job. Oh, thanks, guys. And Tonya Jones, thank you so much for the super chat. Also, you guys, can you hit that like, subscribe? I'm trying to grow. I'm gonna have a celebration when I hit 500,000. I am trying to grow. I know everybody begs on YouTube, and I'm no different. I would like subscription. I hope I'm creating value for you. But if you like my style of delivery, if you like research, if you like investigation, but also if you like a messy bee who lives for drama, baby, you come to the right place. Okay, so anyway, right? With the city investigating possible criminal charges, lawsuits mounting, and rivals pushing Andre Harrell to cut Diddy loose, the Uptown exec urged Diddy to lie low. A terrified Combs spent months holed up in a Manhattan hotel with his mother, according to Kirk Burrows, Bad Boy's co-founding partner and president. All right. Burroughs was fired from Bad Boy in 1997. In 2003, he sued Diddy for allegedly threatening him with a baseball bat and coercing him into signing over his stake in this company. His claims were dismissed as beyond the statute of limitations. Yo, Diddy was literally a thug and a pit bull off a chain, a rabid dog. Now, after the controversy subsided and Diddy returned to Uptown, he still considered himself Andre Harrell's heir apparent, but his access to his mentor was restricted. He spent much of 1992 producing Blige's landmark debut, What's the 411, gaining redemption in the album's acclaim. Around this time, he also founded his own Uptown imprint, Bad Boy Entertainment, where he could sign his own artists and make extra cash. Now, Burroughs remembers jealous Uptown execs referring to Diddy as Satan and flipping him off as they walked by his small offices in the Uptown building. Andre, interesting enough, had also soured on him. Woodley says, Andre said, yo, I'm firing Puff. He's getting a little too big for himself. He's bothering people. The pressure mounting, Andre fired Diddy in 1993. Uptown was supposed to oversee the album release of Diddy's newest signee, Christopher Wallace, aka the notorious B.I.G. But Combs was free to find a new home for his fledgling label. The termination was devastating for Diddy. Left him crying in buckets of tears outside the office. He loved Andre. He loved Uptown. He didn't understand what Bad Boy was going to be. Now pause, right? Pause. You know that they say that Andre and Russell Simmons were the ones that turned Diddy out. I know. That's what I said when I heard that too. That Russell Simmons and Andre turned Diddy out. In, out. You put your right leg in, you put your right leg out, you put your right leg in, and you shake it out. He was doing the hokey pokey. Anyway, so Diddy said, yo, I cried for a couple days and I felt like I wanted to jump off a building. I think at times I was hard to work with. Possibly I was doing ish that an asshole would do, just abusing the power. But that was only for a little bit of time. Chapter 2, the making of a mogul. Cast out of Uptown and blamed for a tragedy that claimed 9 lives, Diddy could have faded in obscurity. But he was scrappy and determined, quickly securing a reported $10 million deal from Arista Records, Clive Davis, that kept Bad Boy Entertainment alive. Now he was helming a skeleton crew, eager to turn artists into superstars and cement hip hop as a mainstream genre. While the world did not understand the power of hip hop, I was working in it and watching it unfold. This was Michelle Joyce. I knew beyond a shadow of a doubt that it wasn't if it was going to pop, it was when. But it wasn't easy. The hours were brutal, the pay was low, and the workload, it was intense. The next summer, only 1 year after Diddy's dismissal from Uptown, the work paid off with Craig Mack's ubiquitous I'm clicking Matt flavor in your ear. Craig Matt's flavor in your ear. And Notorious Big's One More Chance. In the next 3 years, Bad Boy will become the premier label for upcoming hip hop and R&B artists, churning out chart-topping albums from Faith Evans, Total, 112, and soundtracking clubs and radio stations nationwide. And in Biggie, Bad Boy had a budding superstar. The storytelling genius with an effortless flow, Biggie Smalls. Still, Diddy was volatile. People said they once saw Diddy attack a woman inside Bad Boy's office in 1994. Kirk Burroughs was there with another ex-employee. They both told them they had to tear Diddy off of a woman after hearing screams and the sound of shattering glass. Felicia Newsome, the first manager of Bad Boy's recording studio, Daddy's House, says she once held Diddy back when he was about to beat this girl's A after a fight broke out between 2 women. I was holding him by his waist saying, you need to calm down. This is not your fight. Former Arista intern April Lampros claims Diddy turned violent with her. In a lawsuit filed in May, she said Diddy attacked her in a parking garage in mid-1990s, forcing her to her knees to perform sloppy toppy. It was one of the 4 horrific blanket assaults she said she endured during her on-off relationship with Diddy. As Bad Boy was on the rise, staffers kept Diddy's transgressions so quiet, whether out of loyalty, fear, or a belief that such incidents were rare. Outwardly, he was the label's unceasing hype man, ad-libbing on tracks, making cameos on his artist videos. Take that money, right? It was clear he wanted something bigger for himself. I distinctly remember the day Clive Davis called and asked me to start garnering press for Puffy. Oh, sorry, wrong voice. I distinctly remember the day Clive Davis called and asked me to start getting press for Puffy, just as if he were an artist. Behind his back, I used to call him my problem child, the notorious VIP. That's right, Clive. You better represent for your man. Diddy was putting that good on Clive. Clive was just like, yeah, right? Literally couldn't handle. I don't think you're ready for that jelly. Mighty booty delicious for you, babe. Clive wasn't ready for that jelly. And after a few times, he was like, yo, you make this mofo a star because he definitely got some talent. Anyway, Diddy got all the press he wanted when he and his LA counterpart, Death Row Records boss, Suge Knight, became entangled in a years-long heavyweight hip-hop fight. Now, here's the thing. They had once been friends. But the subsequent rivalry between Biggie and Tupac would turn into a pyrrhic victory for both labels. Now, here's the thing. They're going to actually, let me just read it to you because you'll see that it seems like Diddy was the one instigating all this mess, even the beef between Suge, Tupac, and everybody. Diddy's evil, but it gets even worse. Diddy was fond of Shakur. I bet you he was. But not in the way Tupac wanted. Pac probably saw Diddy trying to do a Clive Davis two-piece with a biscuit and was like, Anyway, he liked Tupac, admiring his ability to marry street credibility with mainstream appeal. Kurt Burrows notes that the Bad Boy team spent the summer 1993 studying Tupac's buoyant hit, I Get Around, round and round, as a blueprint for commercial hip-hop records. Desperate to be taken seriously, Diddy tried to foster a friendship, but Tupac wasn't impressed. Pac saw Diddy's fake mouth breather stuff a mile away, because that's one thing about Pac. He was smart, like genius level smart, good at reading people. Was Tupac a Pisces? Hold on, let's see. I gotta find. Hold on. What was Tupac Shakur's sign? Oh, I know he was a Gemini. I know all the Geminis were like, hear you. Pisces and Gemini, they be the two signs that be like, we see each other. Anyway, right? So the Gemini Pac was not interested. He didn't have any kind of respect for Diddy. Okay. To Pac and even Biggie, Diddy was just some corny record executive. Instead, Tupac bonded with Biggie, whom he viewed as his peer. As a result, he says, referring to Diddy, there was someone on the sidelines jealous. The friendship would be short-lived. After Tupac was ambushed and shot 5 times in the lobby of Quad Studios in Times Square in 1994, people say that Diddy orchestrated that. He blamed Diddy and the Bad Boy crew for setting him up, which Diddy has always denied. I think he did it. From there, everything got blown out of proportion. Bad Boy execs started encouraging Biggie to write certain songs, despite the rapper not feeling so beefy with Tupac. With tensions frothing, Diddy released a Biggie single, Who Shot Ya in 95. It was widely viewed as a sneering provocation aimed at Tupac, though Biggie was adamant it wasn't. Do y'all believe that? I think Biggie tried it. I don't know if I believe that he didn't make that about who shot you after Pac got shot 5 times, but maybe, right? Tupac responded with the ferocious hit 'em up, pushing hostilities to their peak. Just like with Kendrick Lamar, why do people force West Coast legends into a diss and then get murdered? Because Who Shot Ya fine, but Hit 'em Up is a classic. First off, and the clique you claim, just like Kendrick's, they not like us. Anyway, perhaps a promotional play, but Combs stroked the East Coast West Coast rivalry. The two label heads traded jabs, with Knight cast as an intimidating cigar chomping gang affiliated boss, and Diddy was a slick, clean cut executive. When the 25-year-old Tupac Shakur was murked in September of 1996 in a drive-by shooting in Las Vegas, Suge Knight immediately pointed the finger at Diddy, who denied involvement. Now, some Bad Boy employees received personal death threats soon after. I didn't recall reading in the employee manual that dodging bullets was part of my job description. Last September, they're saying as a side note, Compton Crips gang member Dwayne Keith D. Davis was charged with Tupac's murder. His trial is set to begin in November. He claimed that Diddy offered him $1 million in a hit for Pac. Diddy has vehemently denied the claim. Now, interestingly enough, isn't that the $1 million? He always offers $1 million to shine, to this, to that. Anyway, right? 6 months. Sorry. 6 months after Tupac's death in March 1997, Biggie was attending the Soul Train Music Awards after party in Los Angeles when a gunman opened fire on his GMC Suburban, deleting him. Police considered it a homicide, an unsolved act of retaliation. Now, multiple reports allege that Biggie had been preparing to leave Bad Boy shortly before his death. It didn't help that Diddy had been fighting with Biggie's attorneys who were trying to wrest back the rapper's publishing rights. Diddy said, "I will never give up until I'm dead and my bones are crushed in the powder." Biggie was absolutely about to leave Puff. I know for a fact he told me that because he told me that. Another source adds, everybody wanted to leave Puffy because everybody leaves him. Now, Diddy capitalized on the shock and sorrow over Biggie's death. Brookshire, who had been traveling in the same SUV as Biggie during the press events the day before he died, says Diddy denied her request for time off to process her grief. Instead, just 2 weeks after the slaying, Diddy ordered her to focus all her efforts on Diddy's upcoming album, Life After Death. Diddy demanded it be number one, top 10, top 10, top 10. When Rolling Stones approached Bad Boy about a cover opportunity a few months after Biggie had been murked, Burroughs claims he advocated for the late rapper to take the spot. I was telling Sean, let's make it about Biggie. You still have a chance for a cover in the future. He's like, no, he's dead. I'm putting out my debut album, No Way Out, in July. I need to be on the cover of Rolling Stone. And Diddy got that cover. Just 2 years later, he acknowledged how Biggie's death had been big business. Yeah, I think it's passing added to the fame, he told Rolling Stone in 1999. At least 2 million of the nearly 5 million copies of No Way Out sold due to his death. Straight up. And that doesn't necessarily feel good, but that's the reality. Even Death Row's fearsome boss, who's currently serving a 28-year manslaughter sentence and has been labeled a boogeyman of hip hop, said Diddy's behavior was distasteful. Suge Knight said, when Pac left, I didn't pick up a microphone. I picked up the pieces. This is chapter 3 of The Making of a Monster. People did whatever he said to stay in his good graces. In the late 1990s, fans regularly gathered outside of Diddy's house studio in Midtown Manhattan, angling to see a famous face or pass along a mixtape. They had built this machine, the hottest hip hop label in the world, and people started to jockey to get next to Puffy. As the new millennium dawned, hip hop entered into its bling era, with Diddy and his artists mining the melodies of 1980s pop songs to guarantee commercial hits. They wore matching shiny suits, spit raps about designer socks and yachts, draped themselves in diamonds, and filled their big budget videos with fawning women and bombastic pyrotechnics. The label was thriving off of Biggie's legacy and bolstered by rising stars Mace, Shine, Black Rob. Diddy won Grammys and was nominated for his work with outside artist Mariah Carey and R. Kelly. He entered the upper echelons of New York society, partying with Revlon billionaire Ron Perlman, his sugar daddy, who's also threw him his coming out party. Diddy's words, not mine. And he was godfathers to Diddy's children. Partying with Revlon billionaire Ron Perlman and I'm sorry, that's Ron Burkle, not Perlman. Sorry, Ron billionaire sugar daddy and Donald Trump. There was a certain narcissism and attitude of objectifying not just women, but all people, and wanted to be with other men who enjoyed moving people around like chess pieces, Sharna says of Holmes, adding that he was a standard bearer for hip hop as capitalism and social mobility play. Becoming a dominant force in the industry only seemed to amplify Diddy's bullying behavior. In April 1999, he barged into the office of Interscope Records executive Steve Stout and allegedly turned violent. He was furious that Stout didn't cut him from the crucifixion scene in the Nas music video before sending it to MTV. He punched me in the face and he grabbed the phone and he bashed me in the head with the phone. This is what he recounted to LA Times. Diddy privately settled with Steve Stout for $500,000 and dodged a 7-year prison sentence by pleading to a reduced charge of harassment. That summer, Diddy released his second album, Forever. The album's critical and commercial failure. It sold less than half what its predecessors did, hardly diminished Diddy's star power. Now, here's the thing. Have you noticed that every time Diddy needs a hit, somebody close to him dies? He saw the power with Diddy passing away. And then the next time he had a revamp was when Kim passed away. A few months later in December, Diddy was arrested after a nightclub shooting in which 3 people were injured. His newest star, Shine, aka Jamal Michael Barrow, go watch my Shine stuff on Belize, was convicted of firing the shots and sentenced to 10 years. Meanwhile, Diddy was charged with weapons possession and attempted bribery after he and his then girlfriend J Lo fed the shooting in a Lincoln Navigator that reportedly ran 11 red lights. Diddy was facing up to 15 years in prison if convicted. Kevin Rogers Francis, a host at Diddy's restaurant Justin's, who did marketing work for Combs' short-lived magazine Notorious, recalls the mogul scrambling for money, shuttering the magazine, hitting the restaurant's drawers for cash, and what Francis presumed was an effort to cover hefty legal bills. The prosecutors claims Diddy offered cash to witnesses after some said Diddy was the shooter. Victim Natanya Rubin, who, by the way, I'm working hard to get on my channel, has been adamant that Diddy fired the bang bang that tore through her nose. Diddy's own driver testified he offered him $50K using a $40K pinky ring as collateral if he would say he owned the unlicensed gun found in the SUV. I know that chauffeur was like, damn, you should have held out for $1 million. You should have literally had him do the transfer right then and there before the police came. Others have claimed Diddy paid as much as $1 million to Shine through an intermediary to buy his silence. But Shine Barrel said, "It's ridiculous misinformation." But after a 6-week trial, Diddy was acquitted in March. With his mounting scandals, a tabloid relationship with J-Lo, and the popularity of his Sean John clothing line, which launched in 1998, Diddy entered the pop culture stratosphere. It became a point of pride to work for Bad Boy, says former employee Flash Rodriguez. It wasn't just a company, it was a lifestyle. But Diddy was difficult to work for. Employees who wanted to stick around had to learn how to speak puffy. Berkshire, multiple sources confirm this. A demanding boss, Diddy often yelled to get his point across and fired employees on a whim. No one on his team at Bad Boy spoke back to him. No one challenged him. Another source recalls Mace, whose real name is Mason Betha, called Combs massa behind his back. Mace did not return that comment. He was so volatile, says a source who sometimes worked for Bad Boy. He always was on edge of snapping and being scary. People did whatever he said to stay in his good graces, and Puffy exploited people's desires to be in those environments. Next part, section 4, making the monster. Why is nobody saying anything? Are they that scared of him? Oh, Jesus. Okay, we might have to do this into a part 2, but let me just get through this part. and then we can go. We can do I'll do a part 2 tomorrow morning. If you guys want to hear a long haul of this article, I told y'all the article is long. It is like a book. They wrote a mini series. After Diddy's acquittal of the nightclub shooting in 2000, let me know if you guys want me to do a part 2 tomorrow, like sometime in the morning that you guys can listen to, or if this is good enough, because we're only on part 4 and there's like 10 parts. Like I told y'all, this is a mini series, but it's worth it. After Diddy's acquittal in the nightclub one, he reportedly headed straight to church. He later made a less God-fearing visit to the Peninsula Hotel, where he was throwing a massive bash to celebrate the verdict. It was there that Anna, a freelance graphic designer working with Bad Boy's marketing team, says Diddy approached her and began to massage her shoulders. I'm like getting touched on my shoulder, my arms, my back. He's like, oh yeah, you like that? I know you like that. Like really, really gross. I was like, no, not so much. And I sort of floated my way out of there. She said she avoided Diddy for the rest of the night. Weeks later, her boss's girlfriend confided that Diddy allegedly approached the boss that night at the party to solicit me for blank. Diddy is so creepy. He went to Anna's boss or friend's boss and tried to see if the boss would sell Anna to him. Anyway, the friend confirmed to Rolling Stone that Anna told her about both the encounter and their proposed engagement when they began working together the last few years. The boss did not return requests. Anyway, I felt like so unsettled about this for so many years. When people asked me about my days at Bad Boy, I was just overshadowed by his crap. It was just overshadowed by his crap, right? And he treated her as though she existed to accommodate his whims. Diddy often flaunted his sexual encounters, even if underage artists were around to see. A teenage Esther briefly lived in Diddy's New York house in the early 90s as a young Bad Boy protege. Puff introduced me to a totally different set of sex specifically. There was always girls around. You'd open a door and you see somebody doing it, or several people in a room having an orgy. You never knew what was going to happen. Casey Sheridan, a member of the teenage girl band Dream, recalls the group being summoned for a meeting with Diddy to the Beverly Hills Hotel bungalow when she was 15 and awkwardly eyeing a purse and pair of heels by the front door as the group waited. After 20 minutes, a bathrobe Diddy emerged from the nearby room. She's like, it's like you couldn't even keep your innocence. I'm 15, walking into this situation, knowing exactly what he was doing next door. Feeding off his fame and power, Diddy appeared to be pushing his most sickening impulses even further. Model Krista McKinney was photographed doing a star-studded Sean John fashion show in February 2003. Hours later, according to a recent lawsuit, Diddy said she was acting too uptight. Yo, you acting too uptight. Why don't you take a hit of this joint? She didn't know it was laced. She alleges he then forced her to perform sloppy toppy on him despite her resistance. Then that night sent McKinney into a tailspin of anxiety, depression that she says resulted in she tried to delete herself. I had a whole future modeling mapped out, and that was stolen from me. Being blankly assaulted and having no recourse is so painful. I felt like I was dying every day because I did not yet have the strength to come forward. I hope that by speaking out, I can help other survivors come forward and seek justice. Now, not long after that, between the spring and fall of 2003, a 17-year-old girl was out one night with friends at a Detroit lounge when a man in a suit approached and allegedly introduced himself as Diddy's best friend. Many people say this is Harvey Pierre. The man purportedly called Diddy and let the girl speak directly to the famed producer who was twice her age. The man alleged to be the former, convinced her. So Harvey Pierre allegedly convinced the girl to board a private jet and take a 2-hour flight to Teterboro, New Jersey. That's where the private plane airport is, outside of New York, just outside of New York City, to meet Diddy in person. According to the lawsuit filed last December, the girl, now an adult, Jane Doe, then a high school junior, she was awestruck by the opportunity, documenting the trip with photos from inside Daddy's house where she's seen pretending to record a song, pointing at Diddy's initials on the wall and sitting on Diddy's lap. I don't know why. She wants to remain anonymous, but it sounds like Tara Marie to me. The photos were included in the lawsuit to corroborate the woman's allegations that she was blank raped by Harvey Pierre, blank rape, gang blanked, sorry, and a third unidentified man inside the recording studio. The woman claims the men plied her with drugs and alcohol until she was nearly unconscious and unable to consent. Again, it's a common theme. As she started to black out, she claims Diddy led her to a bathroom where he removed her skirt and underwear and penetrated her from behind. As she drifted in and out, the unnamed assailant replaced Diddy and raped her from behind as Diddy watched. The woman alleges that Pierre replaced the second man and also raped her. When the men finished, she fell into a fetal position on the floor in excruciating pain and was later escorted out the building and flown back to Michigan. Diddy's lawyers filed a motion to dismiss, claiming that the account is a decades-old tale, a baseless claim, in an effort to extract an undeserved financial recovery. Harvey Pierre did not reply to requests for comment, but previously called the accusation fiction and a desperate attempt for financial gain. Now, they said drugs were a constant part of Diddy's lifestyle. Cassie alleges in her lawsuit, claiming he was addicted to prescription painkillers and took ecstasy frequently. She claims he had pills and other drugs out in the open like candy, and that he would supply alcohol, Coca-Cola, sedative, GHB, Special K, marijuana, everything in the freak-offs. But far from enhancing the party vibe, Cassie and others say these substances only darkened his mood. And that's how you know somebody's a monster, when you high out your mind and you still acting like a damn monster. One frequent party guest in the early 2000s said Diddy would turn violent and loud. He would take his anger out on people. At several points when Diddy was extremely intoxicated, Cassie says he would lay his hands on her. An industry source says they'd once left a party at Diddy's home because they felt so uncomfortable watching an aggressive Diddy yell at Cassie through the night. You could tell in her eyes she was scared. I'm like, is this normal? Am I tripping right now? Why is nobody saying anything? Are they that scared of him? In a 2015 appearance on the Breakfast Club radio show, Diddy described the deal he offers his girlfriends. Listen to this. Yo, if I'm in a relationship with you, 25% of your time, you're going to just feel like, oh man, I hate being here. This guy cheated on me, lied on me. He explained while sitting next to his teenage son, Christian. I remember that interview. Christian was laughing along until he thought about it and he got really quiet because I'm sure he's thinking about the days his mom was like crying and coming home with bruises and doing whatever else it was alleged. But then there's that 75%, and I'm gonna make you the happiest woman in the whole wide world. I'm gonna be there to support your dreams. I'm gonna be there to hold you, listen to you. I'm gonna be there to be your best friend. And I promise you'll smile the most. You know who I am. This is what it is. Now let me say this. Hold on really quick, y'all. Really quick. Hold on. So hold on. I'm gonna keep reading. I just have to do something off camera real quick. Anyway, 1 second. Anyway, now first of all, that's narcissist bait, because even though he's saying that, he was on the Breakfast Club advertising for also young things to be like, oh my God, he sounds great because my boyfriend makes me cry 80% of the time and he's going to be a dream man. I'll take that deal. He was doing it to get people, like, recruit. He was doing it to recruit. But the fact that he would say that while his son was there, yo, that's wild to me. And the fact that his son saw his mom more than that, like 80% of the time crying, but also that's how narcissists love you and love bomb you. They're perfect 20, they say in the beginning, 25% of the time, you're like, yo, what's wrong with them? 80% of the time, they seem perfect. But that quickly flips by the 6th, 8th month, where 80% of the time they are being a demon, 20% of the time you feel love, and before you know it, it's 100% of the time they are being a demon. He said, yo, you know who I am? This is what it is. Which deal would you choose? There's one term of the deal Diddy never disclosed, sources say. The women who signed up for it were not allowed to walk away. Damian Vasquez, a former Bad Boy intern, says after Diddy and J-Lo broke up, Diddy had staffers camp outside MTV's TRL studios with signs to win her back. Cassie claimed that every time she hid, Combs' network of operatives found her and implored her to return, including a Bad Boy executive who threatened to withhold the release of her music if she didn't go back to Diddy. After Cassie left Diddy, he tried to paint a picture of a heartbroken, hurt man. But the reality was he was a liar and he was an abuser. Burroughs believes that Diddy loses at a young believes Diddy's losses at a young age, especially the murder of his father, took a toll on his relationships. He is fortified now with the money and power, but the abandonment and the act of leaving can bring about vicious results, and the women catch it at the worst. Man, if you don't get your ass out of here. Anyway, Diddy's long-term partner, Kim Porter, who passed away from pneumonia in 2018, was no exception. Their relationship was tumultuous, according to two sources who claim Diddy's physically abused her. I remember Kim used to go through a lot of stuff. This is Mark Curry. Yo, I remember Kim used to go through a lot of stuff. This is Mark Curry. He's on the Art of Dialogue. Y'all saw it. If you live around them, you get to see the toxic relationship. I think every relationship he had that I experienced around him was like that. Diddy and Kim first got together in 1994 and dated on and off until 2007. She ended it for good upon learning Diddy had fathered a secret child with one of her good friends, Sarah Chapman, while she was pregnant with their twin daughters. There were other infidelities, including his affair with Jennifer Lopez, but Diddy never let Kim truly move on. She once told Essence, he still calls like 50, 60 times a day. It was like my life was not my own. He was very intrusive. In 2000, she had a fledgling courtship with late music executive Shakir Stewart that enraged Diddy. When the industry gathered for L.A. Reid's wedding in Italy that summer, Diddy went to Stewart's room after the ceremony and allegedly broke a chair over his head. Stewart's mother and two of his close friends told Rolling Stone he left him bleeding on the floor. He was bleeding on the hotel floor in Italy. He had to have stitches, and then Diddy threatened him. I'm going to kill you. That's when I said, you need to get out of this business. This man is crazy. Y'all listen, we got 5 more parts to go. Listen, let me get into these super chats really quick, and then let me get these super chats really quick, okay? Tonya Jones, thank you so much for the super sticker. Paige Collins said, hey, girl, are the mods working tonight? I guess not. It's late. Miss Chris said, Catholic high school in the late 80s might explain a lot. Paige Collins, why do you ask for mods? Listen, I'll go through the chat later and just block anybody that said anything crazy in the chat. Okay, it's just me. You guys know I'm a one-woman show. I'm doing the best that I can, but even sometimes the mods gotta rest. Okay, but thank you, Paige. Also, Miss Chris said Catholic high school in the 80s might explain a lot. Nunya Bees said he wants them to be drugged so they can't laugh at the size of his itty bitty ditty. That's right. Axe wife. Thank you so much for that super chat. I appreciate it. So generous. Corey Irving, thank you so much for the super sticker. And also, only one sag Caroline says, if you don't want to be here, why stay? Wait, who's in my chat? Hold on. Let me start blocking people. Hold on. Who's trolling? Anywho, you guys, what do you think about that? Listen, I think that at the end of the day, Diddy is a very sick man. I think a lot of people were in on it. I think a lot of people were on it. I mean, what do you guys think? Do you guys want me to do a part 2 of the reading? Drop in the comments, right? What is going on? Mm. I'm gonna go through this later and block people in the comments. Who's blocked? Wait, hold on. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. Hit the like button, subscribe. But it doesn't matter in any case, right? Listen, let whoever is spamming my comments keep saying boring, boring, boring. They're obviously he a fan, 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 he a fan. Listen, he is a fan. Anyway, you guys, uh, let's see. You guys, why am I even addressing? Yeah. So anyway, you guys, let me get out of here. Please let me know if you want me to do a part 2. We can invite the haters here. Y'all clearly don't got shit to do. Don't got any love, don't got any job. You don't got shit to do but come here into my comments and block. Just say you want friends. And if you stop being assholes, we would invite you into the community. Do you not I don't understand how there are trolls in the chat, and I don't give a blank, but let's just say this is why y'all never gonna win in life. We just had the cautionary tale Diddy, who lived this life being an asshole. When he could have fame and love and success, he chose to be an asshole and to get on people's bad side and just be a demon. And you see what it got him. You see what it got him. And now you, who clearly want companionship, you and Diddy, just like Diddy, you want to be accepted, you want the attention, you want the love, you want some type of camaraderie. You do. It's like attention. It's attention. It's like severe neglect. Your parents, whoever, didn't love you, didn't pay attention to you. And this is the way you showed your severe neglect. Instead of like working on yourself and being better, you like try to act out and hurt other people. But if you would just act right, you could be a part of our community, but you won't because you're an asshole. And that's sad. I'm going to pray for you. I'm going to pray for the wicked. I'm going to pray for you. You know, but I feel sorry at the same. And I'm not even being funny. I just don't understand. You see what happened with Diddy being an asshole and where it led. And then on a lower level, because you don't got the tap. Anyway, listen, bless your heart, bless your soul. I just bless your throat. Like, just bless your soul. Anyway, y'all, listen, learn from Diddy. Learn from Diddy, right? Exactly. Anyway, you guys, thanks so much for joining. Let me get back to the rest of these super chats, right? Listen, I will say one thing. If these trolls were really about their business and their life, they would drop $100 super chat just so they could come up and say whatever they wanted. You can call me everything but a child of God. Drop them super chats. Put your money where your mouth is. Anyway, right? There you are. Also, really quick, Mikkel Wren said, did you hear that Cassie has Kim Porter's phone? If that is true, I've heard it. I don't know if it's true, but that's a great thing. In this trial, everything is going to come out in the wash. And if they do have Kim Porter's phone, baby, Diddy can call it a mess. He can call it a day. And Melly, what's up, Melly Mel? What's up, Melly? Thank you so much for joining. Okay. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments, and I will talk to you guys later. Tomorrow, part 2, promise, and it'll be early. Okay, talk to you.